So I was in some stock plays. I do a little trading, a little option situation, you know what I'm saying? And for a lot of people in the stock market, it's been going down. But for some people, like, oh shit, right? Because it's a thing called puts, meaning that you're kind of happy that the market is going down. Anyways, right? So with this whole Trump tariff thing, he's just been having the market seesaw. Now, it don't really hit you until it becomes personal, right? Because before, I'm like, man, fuck a tariff. You know what I'm saying? Shit go up, I got it. You know what I'm saying? $32 for some eggs, whatever. I'm just I mean, if you want an omelet. It's funny because I low-key am not mad for what he's doing because sometimes you got to break a couple of eggs. You know what I'm saying? To make an omelet. You see what I did
See
there?
what you did there. I see that.
Him trying to shake things up. You know what I mean? But it seemed like people were scrambling because they felt like, you see what I'm doing? So
That's two of them. Yeah, go ahead.
You're doing excellent.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I ain't got nothing.
Okay, we'll come back to that one.
We're going to
be here all week.
But like I was saying, okay, excuse me. So the point is that so if the market was going down, tariffs, he's going ham with China and everything like that. So honestly, I get it. A lot of people were feeling pain, concerned that their 401ks were being jeopardized. And honestly, y'all, just a little quick note, it doesn't really get jeopardized necessarily unless you pull out. You know what I'm saying? If you pull out of the position, right? If you just ride it out, because that's exactly what happened. I think midway through the week, Trump was like, hey, you know what? You guys should buy some stock today. It's a good day to buy some stocks. And then he turned around and reversed his whole tariff shit, which was terrible. I tried to make the connection. It didn't work that time. That's my bad. But anyways, it was terrible, right? And so the market just did a whole short squeeze. Anyways, the long story is Trump is fucking wilding and messing with people's money. So how do y'all feel about Trump wilding and messing with people's money?
Well, I mean, you kind of said it.
I'm all choked up.
I know, man. I know. When I talk about what Trump's doing to the economy, my gag reflex, I'm saying, wait, that didn't come out right either. Pause. Let me restart that. Something is getting penetrated, but it's not me. Anyway, so the average citizen here is really getting screwed, right? And they're getting screwed a couple of ways, right? They're getting screwed because somebody's pension was set to cash out so they can retire on that day, right? And then, whoop, there goes Trump with an announcement of, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And he's got to know, somebody in his group has got to know that the markets are sensitive to his comments. Plus, the people in his circle also know what he's going to say before the public knows it, right? Like, I'm talking about, of course, people in his cabinet, right? Of course, like, maybe like the Republicans that he's good with, right? They would find out. And that seems like insider trading to me. It seems like the same thing Martha Stewart did. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe worse. He put it on his platform for, so basically, if you were in his pocket, right? If you were paying him a subscription, he gave you a little shout out about what was going on, right? And now, I'm about to reverse it. It's shady. Somebody should please call a man on the foolishness and the shade. You are ruining somebody got wrecked. Maybe not everybody, but some people did get wrecked because you're just announcing things that have no basis and reason or planning. You're wrecking markets. Somebody's getting rich. The people who know what you're going to say ahead of time. Yeah. They're selling and buying when it's low and everybody, somebody's making a killing. But whenever somebody's making a killing, somebody on the other side of the market is getting slaughtered. And that person who's getting slaughtered is probably living somewhere on Main Street. So I don't like it. I don't appreciate it. I'm going to stand up for Main Street America, okay? Say, please, Mr. Trump, stop playing with our economic futures, okay? Okay, for the sake of the children, okay? And their love of eggs. Okay, that's it. You're right.
Trump said, fuck them kids.
Can I say,
care about them?
Donald Trump does not care about black. No, okay, never mind.
No, don't do that.
It didn't work for Kanye either. Okay, I'm done before I get in trouble. Somebody help me, please.
So I'm just going to say that this was bogus to me. I think that for the most part, it was clear that it was definitely a plan to manipulate the market. And I agree. Martha Stewart should be like, hey, I need my regular sponge because I end up in jail time, house arrest. I was wearing, for the first time in my life, I had a little monitor on my phone, on my ankle, and this shit followed me, And so I think that if I was Martha and anybody else who engaged in insider trading, I'll be pulling the flag and getting mad about this stuff and saying, let me get my record sponge. But I also will note that all his insider buddies for example, MGT, aka what did Jasmine Crockett say? Beach blonde, bad built. But anyways, I ain't gonna go that way because it's not that serious for me. But with that being said, they showed that like on April 6th, April 7th, how much money she spent buying certain things and moving her money around. And then she ended up making a killing when he brought the market back. And I'm sure she's not the only one who did this. And so, in the fact that he kind of hinted at it on Truth Social, I believe it was. And I think that at the end of the day, that we should be concerned about this. And if we're not concerned about this, and even if you were one of those people who benefited from this, there's millions of people who didn't benefit from this. And it's like at some point in time, we need to have some type of care for others, because at this point, I'm like, well, damn, where's our humanity? And, I understand the whole individualism. I even understand the fact that, hey, I haven't looked at my 401k because I'm scared. I was like, oh, Lord, whew. Oh, Lord, and so I've been avoiding it because I literally was like, I can't stand to see the gains, the losses. And so I said, this is all good, i.e. I won't look. But there are people who can't afford that because, like Jay said, there are people who's forced to retire, like in the federal government. There's also people who were scheduled to retirement and they were like, oh man, my pension is going to be this. And instead they lost like $40,000, $75,000. Now, did it rebound? I don't know what their investments were, but I think we should be concerned at this level of manipulation. And I think that at some point, there needs to be something that indicates that no one is above the law. So that's my 2 cents.
Well, I got to be a bit of a contrarian here. You know what? My bigger concern about insider trading is how many people owned stock of Pfizer and Moderna and all that stuff before the vaccines came out. That's pretty convenient, you know. So I think it's a bit of selective outrage. Like if you just Google like Nancy Pelosi stock trade, like she's probably one of the most egregious people who does this stuff. Like even if you want to say Trump's doing it, then you can't ignore what she's doing. I mean, she's outperformed in 2024. I looked this up earlier. She outperformed every hedge fund in 2024. That is mathematically impossible. Like we gotta stop this. Like if that's insider trading. Now I don't think anybody should be doing it. I don't even think Congress should really be allowed to own stocks, especially stocks that they have in companies they have oversight of, like Raytheon or Lockheed Martin, all that good stuff. But they all do it. I don't know if this necessarily fits the definition, but beating all the hedge fund managers in 2024 definitely does, because that shit's mathematically impossible. We got to call a thing a thing. That's how I see it.
My man, Delvin. Okay. First of all, Martha Stewart ain't got no motherfucking bone to pick. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? The fuck? She was doing some other little sneaky backdoor little type of shit. I mean, yeah, it was probably some bullshit. Trump listed on fucking Truth Social and whatever. He said, hey, today's a good day to buy stocks. Now, if your ass wasn't logged in to that message, that's your fault. That's not insider trading. That's outsider trading. This shit was put out there for people to consume. You know how I know? Because the market react. The people who were in the know took advantage, right? I get it. But there were some people who are not inside information trading who just understood that once that announcement was made, oh, he said buy some stocks? Yup. You know what I'm saying? It's not Trump's fault that y'all ain't paying attention to the markets like that, except to bemoan what your little fake paper money deposits look like. You know, that's not real, right? That's why I was saying at the top of the thing. Like when you look at your deposit, it says minus 23,000, right? If you look at it today, it's very possible if you did nothing, 10 years from now, it might be like 10 times that. It might be that tomorrow, like we saw yesterday. The market went nuts. A lot of the gains that were lost was from one announcement. right? So once you kind of understand, relax just a little bit, right? I get it. It sucks, right? When you're not on the inside, it sucks. Listen, I've been an inside nigga a lot of my life, and I've seen people. I remember when I was in college, right? And I was in a fraternity, and we would do like this little line thing, right? And it was funny to watch all the people who are on the outside trying to look in. You know what I'm saying? They were like, "Oh my God, look at them doing their thing. I wish I knew what was going on in there." Exactly.